What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm going over my Penguin Classic editions.
Favorite reader, that's who you are. Traveling near, traveling far. Through every chapter, you're the star. Favorite reader, that's who you are.
Okay, so I recently reorganized the books in this room, and this is where I keep my Penguin Classic edition. This is pretty much where I keep most of my paperback books. Let me think about that. 90% of my paperback books are in here. That's where I keep them. But this is obviously where I keep my Penguin Classic editions, and 2 people asked me to go over them. Now, that might not be a lot to y'all, but that's a lot to me. So I'm going to go over it because 2 people asked for it. Ask and you shall receive for the most part. So I'm going to go ahead and go over which ones I have. I'm going to move the camera some so I can get a better view. Or should I just... You actually... There they are right there. That's what we're going over. Okay. Let me see how I want to do it. I think I'll grab them off or show you. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull them down. I'm going to do them. Let me do a groups of 3 so you can kind of see. The first one I have on here, of course, the first one I grab is one that I haven't read yet. That is The Idiot. I haven't read this. It is on my list. What month? I think like either October, November, or December. This is on my list to read. Have not read this, but this is a gift. This thing kind of thick. Hold up. Hold on here. It's so cool. What's this at the end? Okay, 732 pages. This was a gift that I got for Christmas. So I haven't read this yet. I have read, and I do have a review up for Black No More by George Scholar. This was a really good book about a man who underwent a medical procedure that was kind of like a chemical forced vitiligo where it turned Black people white. And it gave them white features, hair features, all that. Interesting book. A lot of interesting commentary on that one. And then we have The Narrative of Sojourner Truth. I've read this, but I'm actually going to do a reread. Dang. This one's so like beat up. I don't know if y'all could tell. But anyways, I've read this a few times. I got so many dog ears in here. But I do think I'm going to do a reread because I'm kind of gearing up for next year where I'll be going over some different like historical Black people with my son. So we've talked about Sojourner Truth in passing, like little bits. He knows who she is, but we haven't done a deep dive. That's coming up in the next school year. So definitely going to be rereading that. Okay, let's see. I'm doing them 3 at a time, y'all. Bear with me. Okay. I have not read this one. That is Beyond Good and Evil. This, I get recommended this book a lot. I mean, like in person and not so much online, but in person, I get recommended this book a lot. I haven't read it yet. I don't even think this is on my TBR for this year. I do make a loose angle TBR, but that's neither here nor there. This is not on it. If I do read this year, it's just like off the cuff. Like I was just in the mood for it. I have read this twice. I will be reading it again because both of my sons will read it when they get... Actually, in 2 years, I'll be reading with my oldest son, and then my other son will be reading in the middle school. But that is The Scarlet Letter. I liked it. The Like the first time I read it, it was okay when I read it in school. It was a lot of strings attached, a lot of assignments attached. But I read it again as an adult in 2016 and I liked it. And again, I'll be reading it again with my sons when that time comes. But a lot of people get assigned this in school, so y'all, probably aware of that. And then this one, the Portable Charles W. Chestnut, who was one of the first Black novelists to receive like national attention. I have read some. I haven't read this entire book or this entire collection. I've read some of it. I've kind of skipped around. I do think I should make time. I got some little annotations in here. I do think I should make time to read the whole thing straight through. I don't even know like why I picked and choose how I pick and chose what I was gonna read out of this. Yeah, but I did a few years ago. I think every couple years I'll come back to this and read a little chunk of it. I should probably just read it straight through, but I haven't yet. That's those three. Also, do y'all do this? So this might be one of my only books with this like plastic cover on it. I don't always keep these on here. I hope you can see it. It's got like a little plastic cover on it to protect it. How did I get this? I feel like grandma gave me this. Like I'm not even playing. It was years ago when I first got this. I remember this was a gift from somebody grandma. This little tab. Anyways, moving on. The next three books. This one is a portable 19th century African American women writers. I actually got this recommendation from Lex Reads. I'll put her information up on the screen. I was watching her video and she recommended this book. I've seen her recommend this twice actually, and I went and picked it up. I haven't read it all the way through, but I'm a third of the way through. Okay. Then we have the portable Anna Julia Cooper, which is a collection of essays. I've read a few essays. I know before she's had like some poems, some plays. She was a journalist. Yeah, and I like what I read. Again, I'm sensing a theme. I feel like I pick and choose certain parts of these books to read and put them back. Like, yeah, I've read certain pieces out of here, but not the whole thing. Which I'm thinking maybe I should start prioritizing these more. This one I haven't read at all. This is Romance and Marcial by Claude McKay. I haven't read this. This was recommended to me by my librarian. Shout out to the librarians recommending books that they think you'll like based on what you already have told them that you like. Okay, the next three I've read two of these. We have Nella Larson Passing. I've read this a few times, once in high school, once in undergrad, and then again in 2016 again. I know I probably talked about this, but I had like a mini little book club with my friend in 2016 when we went through some classics. So I did read this again in 2016. I don't think I'll read this in the very near future. I liked it. I really liked it. Very impactful. I had a great discussion about this book when we did read it, but I don't think, like, it's some books where I'm like, yeah, I feel like I need to reread that and like freshen up on it a little bit. I feel like I'm good on this for 5 to 10 years from now. Maybe again once I read it with my son. So yeah, that's that. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. I'm just realizing, I don't know why this must have been gifted to me. I have another copy of this book in like a leather bound edition. Why do I have this? This had to be a gift because I don't think I would have bought this when I already have another one, but I did read this. I read it once way back when and then read it again in 2024. Okay, and then we have Orunoko. I have not read this. Dang, is it? Okay, I have not read this. but I want to. Prince Oronuko's passion for the virtuous Amoni. Okay, it's a love story. Lovers cast into slavery, transported from Africa. Okay. Reflects the romantic view of native peoples as a first state of innocence. Oh, before man knew how to sin. This sounds good. I really do need to prioritize this. Okay. The next three, we have John Ball in the Heat of the Night. Have not read this. I got this last year. I can't remember when. I found it somewhere for like cheap. So I haven't read this yet. What it's about? A small southern town in the 1960s, a musician is found dead on the highway. It's no surprise when white detectives arrest a black man for the murder. Okay. What is a surprise is that the black man is not the killer, but a skilled homicide detective. Okay, that sounds good. I have read this. I have another copy of this too. Anyways, narrative of the I know why I got this, because one, I was gonna get that other copy to my son. Anyways, narrative of the life of Frederick Douglass, a slave. You know who Frederick Douglass is. It's his classic autobiography. Great, impactful. Somebody calling me. Impactful. If you haven't read it, highly recommend. And then next, I have read this Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl, written by herself, Harriet Jacobs. I've read this before, and this was actually referenced in the last book that I read, which I haven't done a review for it yet, but they reference this book a lot, and it kind of made me want to go back and read it. I ain't gonna lie. It really did. Great book. Okay, move my little ducky. All right. Then we have the Epic of Gilgamesh. I've read this years ago. I feel like I need to reread it. Yeah, it's an epic poem. It's an epic poem that takes place in Babylon. Very interesting. Very interesting. I've read this too multiple times. I know I done said it plenty times, but I was in a classic poetry group in college and undergrad, and we read obviously all of these. These are the early poems of Robert Frost. What can I say? It's either you either like it or you don't. There's really no in between with him. I haven't met people that would read this and feel like indifferent about it. They either think it's super boring and just like lackluster, or they like, wow, enthralled. So there's that. And then we had the complete Dead Sea Scrolls in English. I have also picked and chose what I was going to read out of this. I've never read this all the way through, but I read bits. I got stuff bookmarked and written down in here at the time favorite. Okay, I got a lot of little stuff. So, I just kind of make my notes and go through. Got a lot of stuff in here, but I have never... You would think I read this thing the whole way through. I think I was just picking it up, reading random bits. But, yeah, that's that. Okay. The next three. Read this, The Complete Writings of Phyllis Wheaty. She was one of the first published Black women. And it's a collection of her poetry. Great, impactful. That book that I was talking about that referenced Harriet Jacobs a lot, they also reference Phyllis Wheaty a lot. Very impactful, especially if you like poetry. Then we have The Autobiography of an Ex-Colored Man. I have not read this. I picked it up at a library sale. This was originally published in 1912, and when I read about it, read the back of it about it takes place in New York. It has like a social piece, artistic piece. I thought it might be interesting, but I haven't read it yet. This one I picked up at a library sale too. It is The Housing Lark, and I have not read this either. Takes place in London in the 1960s and explores Caribbean migrant experience. Sounds good. Okay. We down to the last two, y'all. Okay. So we have Right by My Side. This is actually not the book I'm reading right now, but it's going to be the next book that I read. So I am reading a book right now. Then this will be next up. I don't know why. I just was like over here looking. I was like, you know what? I want to read this book. The cover is beautiful. It's a coming of age story. Um, has humor in it, black boydom. So yeah, we'll see what that's about. And then lastly is I have the Black Panther Penguins Classics edition, where it's literally a comic book. I go through this with my kids. We've been through it a couple times. Literally just a comic book. So that's it, y'all. They only asked for the Penguin Classics. I have Oxford Classics. I have NYRB Classics. I got random black classics that the publishers are all over the place. But they asked for those in particular. So I delivered. Let me know if any of those titles sound like something you read, if it's something you have read. Very interested to know. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one.
Pages turning soft as silk, stories flowing like warm milk. A journey starts with every line, worlds unfolding in your mind. Bookmarks falling where dreams collide. Every cover's got a tale inside. Favorite read.